Hi, I guess I'm live here. I almost missed coming on today. I didn't put my alarm on my phone, and I just thought of it like 5 minutes ago, and I was in the kitchen and I looked at the clock. It was 5 minutes to 1. I almost missed my own YouTube video, my own channel thing. But here I am. I've already had my coffee. I'm not ready for a second cup yet because my stomach is in a tizzy anyway. I'm so stressed. Wait a minute. Still stressed from yesterday. Yesterday I went to print out some shipping labels. This is how it started. And my wonderful little Brother laser printer would not talk to my computer, or my computer wouldn't talk to my printer. My printer seemed to be okay, but they weren't corresponding. So I couldn't make any labels. I have my old HP printer down here, my jet ink printer. Of course, it's almost out of ink. So I did print out one label, and the barcode is not as dark as it should be. And I hope that it went out today. I hope that they could. She probably would have said something if she couldn't scan it in, I would think. But anyway, I immediately went on Amazon and ordered ink. Ink for a jet printer is a fortune. That's why I got the laser printing. I hardly ever use my jet printer anymore, inkjet printer, because of that. But I had to buy ink. You have to buy 2 cartridges, the tricolor and the black. So I ordered it. It cost like, with tax, it costs like $130 for those 2 cartridges. That's why I've been putting it off doing it for like a year. And I ordered it yesterday, and I just got a notification before I came on here that, and my mail lady came, that I got 2 things from Amazon. I ordered some other things too. But I hope it's the ink that I can put in there. However, I called Brother, the maker of my laser printer, and that turned out into a huge thing. In order to get my Brother printer to work, of course, they have to check a lot of things, and they found out that I had been hacked. And they could tell I had been hacked like only 3 days ago. And it was a whole afternoon of being on the phone with them. So it ended up, it all got fixed. My printers are now both working. Even my wireless Brother printer is working. My computer is talking to my printer now, and it seems to all be fixed. Today, I went to cross list with List Perfectly, and I had lost List Perfectly, the extension, with all this fussing around on my computer. They had to do a bunch of stuff. So I had to, I wrote an email to List Perfectly, and they told me how to reinstall and whatever. So I have it back. However, it's not the one where you can do multiples. So I I listed 3 things this morning and I had to cross list separately. So I just wrote them another email that it's not letting me do the multiple listings. So I hope it's just something simple. But I have the extension now. Then I went to come on here, StreamYard, and my StreamYard was also gone, but that's something you can just Google and it comes on. And they remembered me, so here I am. That only took a minute. So there's nobody here to listen to my ranting. All this is never good for my belly. So I just came on to talk about that. I have been listing up until that kerfuffle. I've been listing pretty steadily. My sales picked up just slightly, and I've gotten some Poshmark sales too, and some eBay sales. So I'm just going to continue listing till I get through everything I have. And then I will have to go shopping, or if Bumblebee has a box for me, she can send it any time. I think she's busy doing something though. What is everybody doing? Is anybody doing anything different about this coronavirus? It hadn't been in the whole state of Ohio. That's where I am. Until I think 2 days ago. Now we have 3 cases. And of course, they're right near Cleveland in Cuyahoga County. I'm south of that in Medina County. But I mean, it's going to spread. It's just slowly spreading. And it really makes you think about going out very often. So I have decided if I have to go out for something, like a doctor appointment, or if I really need something at the store, I will try to fit everything in on one trip and not go to town every day for something separate. So yeah, I guess it is affecting me. I mean, that's all you hear on the news. They say they're trying to not panic people, but they keep talking about it constantly. I mean, we were supposed to have the 2 Democratic men running for president, Bernie and Joe Biden, come to Cleveland, and they both canceled. A lot of schools, even Ohio State, are doing, they're not having classes. Their students are doing everything online. A whole bunch of things are changing to try to avoid people getting sick, which is good, I guess, you know. I'm very aware when I go in the store to wipe down everything. You know, the carts, they give you those wipes to wipe down the carts. I have wipes and things in the car, and good old Purell or something like it. And I'm constantly washing my hands. But I'm pretty much just gonna hang out in the house, maybe, and go to the barn. I think pretty safe going to the barn. There's nobody there hardly. I don't think the horses will give it to me. And yeah, where does anybody else stand on this? Are you doing anything basically different? Except sort of, I don't know if is anybody else sort of staying home? I noticed that the bin pickers, G, which is Michelle's husband, you know, Michelle and G, he doesn't want to leave the house for at least a month. He's not going to the bins. He thinks he has to do this to protect their 5 children. Although evidently children aren't the ones at risk in this. It's more seniors and, just older adults. Not necessarily seniors, because people are getting it at 50 years old. But you don't hear of a lot of real young people getting it, or children. So I don't know. It's I hope they get a handle on this. And I sure wish they would all of a sudden come up with a vaccine, but that's going to take probably longer than the virus will last. Hopefully. So just good cleaning measures. I guess it's about all you can do, I have to go out for some things, So I don't know. I hope my YouTube is working, because there's nobody here. And they redid a lot of things on my computer, because I have a new firewall now, evidently. I didn't think Apple products were prone to viruses and hacking and all that stuff, but evidently that was way in the past. That's not true anymore. And they explained a whole bunch of things. I only understood half of it, of why that is. And so anyway, I still have a few clothes to list, and then I'm going to go with some non-clothing items listing. And then I'm going to go back and hunt down the children's clothes that I used to list. They're not on anymore, but I still have them. So I'm going to go look at them and see if I want to try to list some of those on Poshmark in the children's. I don't have any children's, although I just did one of the pants I got, one of the pairs of jeans that I had bought turned out to be a boy's Levi's 511 16R. And I looked that up. That's a boy's a youth one. It's their skinny youth boys. So I put that on. That goes under children. So I'm going to also list some children's items, clothing items I have. So hi, Bumblebee. Yeah, how are you all doing there? Are you doing anything different because of this corona fiasco? All of a sudden, it's become more real here because, I lost track of time. I actually realized I was supposed to be on at 5 to 1 is when I realized I almost missed my own YouTube video. So I ran in here and turned it on, and here I am. I don't have any coffee, no tea, no list of what to talk about, except if you go back, you'll see that my computer, yesterday I spent the whole day with brother printer, fix-it people. My brother laser printer wouldn't print. It turned out to be, it had to be all reconnected, but it was actually my computer that wasn't corresponding to my laser printer. Because I had gotten hacked. My computer had gotten hacked quite badly. So, and it happened, they could determine it had happened like 3 days before that. But they hadn't gotten into any financial things, which is a blessing. Oh yeah, the crazies. I heard that there was somebody had bought 300 rolls of toilet paper. I don't even know what state that was in, but crazy. Yeah. Yeah, Target just sent out an email to their customers that they apologized for not having a lot of the things, and they were getting big shipments of things in. So, yeah. Yeah, that was very scary, and things were just not working right. And I had just noticed things that day that I called, especially because the printer wouldn't print. And I have to have my printer print labels, So, yeah, and then they asked me if I noticed any other things happening, like applications opening up really slower than normal, or anything that was different. And really, I hadn't. And it took all day for them to really go through things and look at things. So I think everything, they built a new firewall and things. So hopefully it's going to be better. And believe it or not, Apple isn't safe from hackers anymore like they used to be. Apple products used to be, they explained it to me. It was all too technical, but Apple is no longer safe. The hackers have figured out a way to get into the everything, really. So everybody needs the firewalls. Apple didn't used to need them at all. So you were driving around empty streets last night. Isn't that weird? Yeah, they've stopped big gatherings. Like I said before you came on, that the two candidates, Bernie and Joe Biden, were supposed to come to Cleveland, and that was both in Cuyahoga County, where the four cases are of the coronavirus, and they didn't come. They were going to come today, and they canceled. And they're canceling out. They haven't canceled any big sports events so far, but they did cancel. They did stop. I hear they stopped the press from going into the locker rooms of all the sports, and all different kinds of things. It's all for the containment, and I guess it's all good. But yeah, are you doing anything different? Yeah. Oh, that's funny. There's nothing yet in your part of the state. Yeah. Well, there was nothing in Ohio at all until like 3 or 4 days ago, and all of a sudden there was 3 cases in the Cleveland area, or Cuyahoga County area. Yeah. But it's slowly going to spread. I mean, evidently it's community sharing is how this gets around. Nobody worried about it when it was in China, and then it slowly worked its way here because people People stay home. It's amazing that the whole country of Italy is under quarantined. I mean, isn't that crazy? So I do admit that I'm thinking twice about going out just helter-skelter. I'm just going to go out like Friday. I have a doctor appointment. I'll go out, and while I'm there, I will do other places to run around that I have to do and come home, you know. And I'll only go out if I have to. I won't go to town every day like sometimes I was for just little things. I'll never starve. I have chickens. At least have eggs. Yeah, I have enough groceries to last me probably 6 months. I'm wondering if now the delivery services will pick up. You know, a lot of places, a lot of grocery stores and everything started delivery service like 6 months ago or something. Remember, I tried the Aldi service just to see how it worked, and it worked really well. So I bet a lot of those, they're going to have a lot of people ordering things to be delivered. Of course, now people are coming to your home. What I'm thinking is, if this gets any worse, I'll just have them deliver it to the porch and then maybe wipe it down before it comes in the house. I don't know if that's crazy or what. As one who's married to an Italian, it doesn't involve pasta is not a priority. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, don't let them take the pasta away. Well, I don't think pasta has to come from Italy. Oh dear. Yeah, this is a serious thing, but there's so many more things that kill people, a lot more than this. It's just new. That's all. Yeah, you're stocked up on stuff too. Yeah. Yeah, my daughter is out all the time because of her job. She's a photographer, number one. And number two, part-time, she is a bartender. And she's sort of a germaphobe, which I wonder how she's handling this. I haven't talked to her today yet, but I bet her hands are just washed raw. And she has allergies. So the pollen count has already gone up. And she is having a terrible time sleeping at night because of the pollen, her allergies. She went out yesterday and bought a big air filter machine with HEPA filters and everything to see if that'll help. Effort into other things in Italy, apparently. Yeah, they're sort of, I don't know if they're quarantined in their houses, but the video they show of Italy, I mean, there's no one on the streets. There's no one visiting. They're not letting anybody leave now the country. It's sort of scary. But I don't know. I was a nurse all those years. I never got anything. Well, when I first went to the ER, where you're seeing people constantly, different people, I got a cold that lasted forever, just a regular cold, respiratory cold. And then after that, I didn't get another cold the whole time I worked in the emergency room. I think I didn't have a cold for like 14 years because I had built up so many antibodies against that kind of thing. I didn't get sick at all. You just build up, your body knows what to do. And I'm hoping our body, of course, if we're not in contact with this virus, it's not going to build up anything against it. But maybe we are in contact. I mean, people that are spreading, that's the trouble with this virus. People that have it can have it for 6 days, I think they said, before they ever have symptoms. So that's how it's spreading. Yeah, there's so many other reasons people die. Yeah, there's more people dying of the regular flu, of course, and cancer and heart disease and everything else. But this is new and scary for people. But yeah, people are treating it like the plague. Yeah, so I listed this morning on eBay. Not a lot. I've listed 3 things. I had to get things working again on my computer because things are different. My whole desktop looked different. They had left me with everything organized, instead of spread out like I want. I had to reorganize my whole desktop on my big computer. And they took my picture away, my background picture. I had to find another one because I couldn't find the one I had. And just move things, sort things out. I got rid of a lot of things that I didn't even know I had because they're hidden under these screens. So I did clean up my desktop and made sure my printers were working this morning. That's the first thing I did, to make sure that they're still working after yesterday, after they fixed them. So it's still working. And like I said before, I just got a notification that the mail lady came. I just got a notification that my Amazon, things I ordered from Amazon yesterday are here. So I'm hoping that's new ink for my inkjet printer, my HP, which is my standby now. But I was almost out of ink, so I couldn't even print on it. Hope in the Lord. Yes, for sure. Yes. That is the truth. Oh, you've got plenty here. Yeah. Anytime you want to send a box, just send it. Yeah, I'm going to, today, if I get through the rest of these things, I'm going to go through all that old children's things that I have, that I used to list, and I'm going to list that on Poshmark and see, and just see. I have to do some searching on Poshmark and see how children's things do. I haven't really looked yet, and how you price things on children's things. But I know there are some single little kids things. They may be brands that are very rare or really expensive brands that I probably don't have. I mean, I don't have things like Carter's and those basic Walmart brands, but I've forgotten what I have. Cute things. Oh, you're trying to pack my bag. I found 3 with flaws. Okay. Yeah. If I find flaws, I won't list them. Except if I find a really good cashmere item. And I will list if it has a tiny little flaw. If I can't fix it, sometimes you can fix them really good. If it's a tiny pinhole, flaw. But if not, I just mention it because people were making piles of cashmere with big flaws in and just selling the cashmere fabric or the cashmere wool for people to use. You can do that too. Yeah, crazy. It's always crazier with kids. Yeah. I'm sort of worried about my granddaughter because she goes to these gymnastic meets out of town. And as far as I know, they haven't canceled any of them. And of course, they go to school every day, but doesn't seem to be affecting children like it is adults and older adults and old people. Oh, yeah. I don't know. I really didn't have any topic today except my scary hacking problem yesterday. I'm hoping that doesn't happen now anymore. They also said that with this hacking, the hackers that do this, they can even when they don't take over your computer that you notice, but they can use your camera without you even knowing it. It's not necessarily, they said it's sometimes the light that tells you the camera's on. Sometimes the light doesn't even, they can keep the light from even going on. So you don't even know. Now, if that doesn't make you paranoid. Yes, beautiful sweaters made. Yeah. Yeah. That last trip that I made, I got a couple cashmere sweaters that I had put on, and they were both in good shape, which was surprising. I buy them, I look them over quickly at the store, and then I bring them home, and they get looked at when I, do a haul video. They get handled and looked at, and then when I photograph them, they get looked at again. And then when I measure them, they get looked at a third or fourth time. So by the time I actually put them in the package, I'm pretty sure they're okay. So, yeah, I think I'm going to give my daughter a call and give my sister a call today, see how they're doing. I don't know how Pennsylvania's doing as far as the virus is doing. My sister hasn't mentioned that there's anything in Erie, where she's from. But she hardly goes out of the house anyway. However, her son travels back and forth to New York all the time and is on an airplane a lot. I think that's another place I want to be. Besides a cruise ship, I wouldn't want to be on an airplane, especially. But they're taking all kind of measures with the planes now too. But I feel sorry for the poor people that were on the cruises. I bet after they had to be on that cruise ship for so many days and then have to even be quarantined when they get off, I bet you they won't take another cruise. There's 2 in the chat. Huh. I don't know. Yeah, it says 2. I don't know who else is in here. They must be quiet. Nobody but you and me, it shows. It's talking anyway. Yeah, I was doing that for a while. I was pasting a note across there. That's when I couldn't get the camera to turn off. I mean, the light was on all the time. But I see now that even when the light is off, I guess I should just keep it over there. Yeah, I hate to be paranoid. That can get out of hand, but nowadays it's just not good. Yeah, they said that the petri dish for germs. Yeah, I've been on 2 cruises way back when I was young. When my husband, when I first lost my eye, the first time I went on a cruise was when I had just lost my eye. I was healed up, but I was still wearing an eye patch. Hadn't gotten my fake eye yet. And he took me on a cruise. So I think he sort of liked the eye patch. Looked like a pirate. But yeah. So went on a cruise that was on a Greek line. Forget what the name of it was. And we went down. We cruised out of Puerto Rico. We had to fly all the way to Puerto Rico. And we got to see a little bit of the old part of that country. It was beautiful. I was doing a lot of photography back then. I took a lot of beautiful pictures. And then we cruised, and it was in the Caribbean, just a Caribbean cruise. Went to several different islands. And yeah, no problems, no sickness, no anything. Few people got seasick during a wasn't a big storm, but it was enough to make the water rough. And there's a place you go in the Caribbean where the Atlantic comes together with the Caribbean, and it's rough there. Well, they have to go across there when they do these cruises. And they try to do it at night, evidently. And a lot of people were getting seasick. They had in the places where the steps would come down into this big area, they would have bowls of Dramamine where you could just take Dramamine, as much as you wanted. Yeah, I thought that was strange. Being a nurse, they just handed out this Dramamine. You could take just fistfuls of it. You're too old to have the energy for being paranoid. Yeah, you just have to sort of stay smart about it. Yeah. I guess my flu shot isn't going to help against this. Girl Scout preparedness. True. Well, yeah, he was a wonderful guy. He was my love. My first husband was my headache. And he turned out to be I did get 2 children from him, 2 beautiful children, because he was nice looking. But he turned out to be a paranoid schizophrenic and turned sort of violent. Yeah, that wasn't a good ending. But I got out of that marriage. I stuck it out for 11 years, and my kids were 6 or 12 years, really. My kids were 6 and 10 when I left there. And it was a couple years before I met my husband, Jack. And I met him through him coming into the ER. I was a nurse in the emergency room, and he was a policeman. He was a cop. You know, they're in there all the time. That's how I met him. My girlfriend was going with a cop, and they were friends. So he had just gotten divorced also. So we got together. And he was my true love. Yeah. We had a rocky spot in the marriage, but things worked out. And then he got sick. He got leukemia. After he retired, he got leukemia and was treated at the Cleveland Clinic. And they had just, it went from the leukemia, it went across the brain, blood-brain, and he got it in the brain, but they got rid of that. But he finally died. His lungs gave out because he was such a horrible smoker. But it got him. They had given him 5 years, and he only lived 3 years. Yeah, it was terrible, a terrible thing. But I'll tell you what, it helped. I don't think I've ever said this, well, to my sister and my kids, yes. It helped being a nurse, because actually being a nurse, I could switch off my feelings. You become empathetic instead of sympathetic. And I could detach myself from the situation, because he was mostly, when he wasn't in the hospital, he was in the hospital a lot, but he was at home a lot too. He was at home with IVs and hospice, and I was detached, which probably was unkind for him, which I sort of feel sorry about that. But it's something that evidently I had to do to be able to cope with it. So, yeah, it's not a fun thing. I'll tell you what was even worse is my sister. Her husband just died a year ago, and he had Alzheimer's. And his went fast. I visited her when he still recognized me, and shortly after I went back again, and he had no idea who I was. And then he died. He died a few days after she had to put him into an Alzheimer's place because he was escaping from the house. He was too hard to handle. He couldn't walk anymore. His feet wouldn't, he wouldn't move his feet to walk. He was falling all the time. She just couldn't handle him. Lucky her son came home and helped with all that. But it is the most cruel disease. It robs people of their personality, of who they are. It's just horrible. And that's the first time I saw it up close and personal. And I'm in Cleveland, she's in Erie. I only saw it for days at a time when I went up there. But I saw what it was doing to my sister. And I now see the guilt my sister feels about it. And how did we get on such sad subjects? This is what happens when I don't plan what I'm going to talk about. Someday I will have a YouTube video, because I have on my blog, I did have several blogs about different things that happened in the emergency room. And I think I'll get some of those, print some of those out now that my printer is working. Print some of them out and talk about the there were some really strange things and exciting things that happened in the emergency room. And I think I'll put, I think I will make a YouTube video maybe about that someday, one of these Wednesdays. We had a murder. We had a gang, not a gang, a mafia type killing. We had a Halloween things happen. I will just have to have this have a whole video about this. But to remind myself, I'm going to have to go print it out from my blog a long time ago. But I will close for now, and I don't want to get out of, I have to share my closet on Posmark. I haven't done my first share yet. I have to go do that, and then continue while I still have enough energy to do this, because I sort of poop out about 4 or 5 o'clock. Yeah, that's true, Bumblebee. I sure wish you lived closer. I think we could be great friends in person. Yeah, if I could write well. You know, if you go back on my blog, Shirley's World at Blogspot, I put that here someplace. Yeah, I still have it. I found it. I don't know. Are you seeing this backwards or forwards? It's shirleys-world.blogspot.com. And you will find my blogs. I blogged from years. There's years of blogging on there. More than you'd want to read. But there's all kinds of stuff on there. It's before I was doing YouTube, and before I was doing, I think the last blog is when I started this business of my selling on eBay. So I'm going to steal some of my own blogs and talk about them. So I will see you if I get a haul. or a box. And Sunday for sure. So I'll say bye for now. Thanks for coming in, Bumblebee. Bye.